WJG Sports. We journal great.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Just Like Bruddas podcast, episode number 46 here with one of the great, charismatic, weightlifting coaches in the WJG area, Jay Wilson. What's going on, Coach?
Man, nothing, man. Just, trying to stay safe, trying to hit a little bit of these weights when I can, the usual.
Right. Now, of course, my co-host here, like BB, he's here in Greenville.
Yes, sir.
Waving, doing what he does.
Yes, sir. But, yeah, Coach Jay, thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate you coming on. Of course, Jay is the head football coach and head track and field coach at Green Central High School. And, of course, proud North Carolina A&T Aggie, of course.
There you go.
Played football there, too. Early 2000s, correct?
No.
Or was it later?
I keep that always handy. Always handy. This is the original before they moved to the new stuff, But no, I played from 96 to 99 under Bill Hayes. So my last year we won the conference championship, 99, and we went to the second round of the national playoffs. They lost to Youngstown State in a Freezer Bowl game. So but that was yeah.
I was gonna say, I know you had some on you, man.
Of course, Coach Wilson is also a Princeton graduate as well, so he is also an alumni from a school in the area. What was it like, playing 1A football back then? I mean, because now Princeton's a powerhouse on 1A football. Back then, you guys weren't quite there.
No, we were middle of the road. I think my senior year we won five or six games. But the conference was much different then. So there was no Spring Creek. It was Lakewood, Union, Hobson, Rosewood, North Duplin, myself, Princeton, and then for a little bit we had North Johnson, and then they moved to 2A, and then we picked up another school from down the other way. But it was some dog fights. It was a lot of country boys who were running the wishbone or the eye and with double tights. So it's a little bit different than it kind of is now. So.
Right. Now, of course, how was it trying to get a scholarship to play football when you are in small town, rural Eastern North Carolina?
Tough because, back then, Charlotte, Raleigh, Greensboro, those were the major recruiting areas for the state, for any school. I mean, A&T has a plethora of schools right at its back door. They don't even have to go outside of the city limits, and they can pick up plenty of players at all times. Luckily, my cousin played at Newburgh, Brian Edge, when we graduated the same year. So they were recruiting Brian to go to A&T, and then so you know how it goes. Maybe my cousin plays for Princeton, and he's this, and he's 6'1", and da-da-da-da. So, you kind of had we'll take a look at him because they want him, and so we kind of managed that out. Most of my first year, most of my money was academic money. So I was more of a preferred walk-on. I guess that would be the title that you would give it now. And I kept my grades up, so I continued to keep the academic. And then over time, you sort of earn your spot and you earn your number and that kind of thing. So, it's still difficult to recruit in Eastern North Carolina. So you can only imagine before, social media, before I could put my highlights on Twitter, before I could just send my link, my highlight tape was on a VHS, if that puts it in perspective for me. Yeah.
And one of the things I always, hear when I talk about Eastern North Carolina is for DBs, it can be very hard because people are not sure if you can actually cover the pass. So what was it like back then trying to convince them, like, yeah, I played in this style of offense and defense, but I can cover the pass?
I mean, well, because back then we played both ways. Because I was starting wide receiver and free safety, and so that sort of helped me a little bit by being a free safety. It wasn't necessarily pure DB skills. You just had to show them that you had ball skills. You had to show them that I can go up and make a play on the ball, or your wide receiver films I can catch, and those type of things. So, but like I say, back then as a DB, you might see 5, 6 passes per game, and two of those were a 5 and out to a tight end that you won't cover anyway. There may have been a couple of deep balls your way, stuff like that. But you just had to show the moment that you could make a play that I could make a play. So I mean that was it.
Right now, of course, you were talking about the North Johnston. You actually got a chance to coach at North Johnston. What was that like to be able to go to the rival school and coach at?
Well, after I had to deal with my folks from Princeton, kind of like, hey, man, what are you doing over there in the red? What's going on? It was a great experience. I worked under several great coaches. Tom Nelson was the head coach there. Then a gentleman named Scott Meserve. I also worked under him. Learned a lot. Learned a lot about how to take what talent you have, make it better, and then put it on the field. Coached several really, really talented athletes. Jaquise, Malik, they both went on to be very great players at Wesleyan. But I had a great experience coaching football at North Johnston. Yep.
Right. Of course, talking about the rivals, you actually met one of your best coaching friends now, your offensive coordinator, Delmus Willis, while he was on the sideline at Princeton.
Yeah. We almost didn't become friends. Speaking
of double trouble.
our first introduction didn't go well. We knew each other, but our first on-field introduction didn't go well. He's probably going to kill me for telling the story, but it is what it is. So Princeton and North Johnston are rivals, but it had been a while since Princeton had beaten North Johnston. I mean, several years. And they came over and they had the Gerganis kid who was the quarterback, who was he was everywhere. His dad used to be the AD at Princeton, but he just scrambled and had a kid named Wilson, another Wilson kid out on the edge. I mean, they just had a really good team, really good year. And they beat us on our home field. And first time them beating us on the home field in forever. And they were excited, and as well they should be. I mean, it's how it goes. But he made a tactical maneuver that wouldn't have gone over well. He decided he was going to go to the midfield logo and celebrate his victory. And so, we had a quick conversation about maybe that's not the right thing to do, And we had a mutual friend, Coach Preserve at the time. And so, he was like, hey guys, so, but I still remind him of it all the time though. Every time we talk about something, I'll be like, hey, remember when you gonna try and dance on my logo, my Panthers at North Johnston? So, but he's one of my favorite coaches I've ever had to work with. Passionate, emotional, into it, locked into it. So he's a guy that he's my OC, and he's a guy that I trust. And so he's a great coach and a great friend too. So.
Absolutely. So you, of course, became the head coach at Green Central this past season, and the Rams went 4-7 this year, I believe. What was this year kind of like for you to become a head coach for the first time, I believe, was it?
Yeah, first football, yes. Yeah. Varsity, yes. It was amazing. It was a lot of things that I thought it was going to be, and it was a lot of things that I didn't know it was going to be. You know what I'm saying? Until you're sitting in this chair, you don't know all the things that you deal with, all the questions that you get on the field and football-wise. I was prepared for that. I've been coaching 19, 20 years, so that wasn't an issue. but it was a lot of the, hey coach, can I talk to you for a few minutes about such and such? Hey coach, can I talk to you? We wanna sell, what? That don't got nothing to do with me, stuff like that, but it does. But you're like, I'm trying to prepare for a game. I got Kinston this week, and you're talking to me about a fundraiser that's gonna happen in March. Can it wait to December? Stuff like that. And and the budget part of it, making sure you have enough money for this, and we have to order paint. My AD does an amazing job. Coach Bryant does an amazing job of kind of keeping a lot of that stuff off of you, but he still got to run some things by you. And so you're trying to prepare for, this kid and this kid and this kid, and you got to be like, what? Yeah, okay, that's fine. I don't care what paint we get, just get some, So it's one of those things. But I had an enjoyable time. I wish we would have had a few less injuries. I think that win total doesn't really tell the story of who we were and how much talent we really have. I think it tells the story more about, you lose your number one running back, possible, preseason pick player, the offensive player of the year. We go through about 3 or 4 starting O-lines because one of our staples, Jamarcus, he hurts his ankle, and then Amari's out for an extended period of time, and you have to wind up pulling, a JV kid up to now start Jordan, who's going to be a great player. And then we had some injuries to Taylor, Dawson, our center, which anybody who knows about football, that's the heartbeat of your line. So he missed a couple of games. So it was just those things that were always kind of like every time you think, okay, here we go. Now somebody goes down, or here we go, we're ready. Hey, coach, he's out for concussion. You're like, what? So, but I feel like, we maximized and we got a lot out of what we're trying to do this year. And, hopefully if everything gets back right, that the win total will, reflect what the guys put in, what we put in, and the actual talent that we have, walking through here. So.
Absolutely. Those injuries, the injuries also were kind of a gift too, because you were able to discover some really good players on JV. I want to talk about Jaden Tyson, your running back, being one of them. What did he give to your team in those good times, whether it was good or bad times? What did he give to your team this year?
He gave us a home run hitter. Knowledge. Who has good top speed. He's a double. He's gonna get you to second base. 10, 15 yards, rumble, bumble, knock a safety out. And
he will.
And he will. But Tyson is more of, I get to the edge, I'm gonna break you down, and then I'm going 60, and then I'm gonna bump my head on the goalpost kind of kid. So he kind of gave us a little bit more explosion. Unfortunately, this time off is sort of hurting him because this is that time when he would be adding the size. He would be adding, a little bit more muscle to his frame. He's a smaller guy, but so we're going to have to, kind of put that back into perspective. But I for the next 2 years, he's going to be a kid that is going to be that explosive runner. He's going to have some 3s and some 5s and maybe a -1 or 2, but then he's going to bump his head for 70. So I think that's kind of how it goes. So.
Right. Now, of course, you talk about Knowledge Branch. Coming in, he was your starting middle linebacker and your best back. Talk to me about, his injury. I know we talked a little bit about it, but I know you said that it was, the first time you had seen that type of injury in, 20 years of coaching.
Yeah, I had never seen that kind of patella, tear apart from the quad. You just, what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. I was thinking ACL or, whatever, but it was a detachment. And so that was new. So, I learned a lot about it. Again, he's another one that this will be his rehab time. He will be in here squatting and lunging and running track and doing all those things to rehab, to hopefully get that thing back stronger or where it was. But, we're just not able to. So, that's going to be a question mark when we come back. But yeah, when we got back, he had started running track and he had started looking a little bit better, still kind of favoring a little bit, but he was looking better. But, it's just one of those things you got to kind of sit back and see how it looks.
How tough is the quarantine right now for football programs across the state and then for yours as well?
It's really tough. It's really tough because good teams use track season to work on running. You can't be fast unless I teach you how to run fast. There are a lot of guys who have speed, but they're not game fast because they just don't know how to run. They run with legs all crazy and all that kind of stuff. But see, this is the time where we're working on running over hurdles. We're putting on parachutes. We're working on coming out the block. All those things. And then we're able to, for us, we lift weights every day of the week during track practice. So if you don't have it during the day, I have my other 30 or 40 guys, how many we had out there, they're coming in here and they're getting a workout in every single day and then go run. So you're working on conditioning, you're working on running technique, you're working on strength, and then it just springboards you into spring practice because our spring practice starts the Monday after regionals. Well, it would. And then so you have guys coming right off the track, right into spring practice. And then you go through your 10 days of spring practice. Normally you would take off for exams, and then you're right back into summer workouts. So with the guys that were doing track and would have been running from February all the way through the beginning of May, I don't have to worry about conditioning. So now at practice, I can spend 2 hours working on plays, installation, whatever it is, and not so much have to worry about, all right, we got to dedicate 15 minutes to running sprints or, conditioning. So that's the biggest part. That's the part that scares me the most about coming back is, I can have you can be running miles, you can do this, you can do that, but it's not the same as when you're out here under that whistle and you got to run this in 10 seconds or you got to flip the tire this many times and sprint to the fence and sprint back. It's a different level of conditioning. So,
when you look at football and you look at track, those are two sports that requires a lot of people being on your roster. How tough is it as a coach to be able to try to keep track and keep in touch with all of those guys and girls?
We started with doing the RAM check-in before we knew sort of how long it was going to last. So those first 2 or 3 weeks, we were doing RAM check-in on IG. So that was the hashtag. Show me you're doing push-ups. Show me you're doing sit-ups. Show me you're going to your own gym, away from school or whatever. And then when they closed the gym down, it was like, all right, we're going to send this out. Everybody needs to be doing 100 push-ups a day. You need to try and run this many miles a week. You start group chats. And now we're at the point now we're doing our Zoom, our virtual installment. Coach Willis started that last week with the offense. Now this week we jumped on with the defense. So it's pretty good to be able to see the guys like I'm seeing you guys, and we can talk and laugh a little bit. You got to put them on mute when it's time to teach because they just but that's been pretty good, and we're going to try and do 2 of those meetings every week from here until we're able to get back and go face to face. So that's all we can do. So.
Right now, of course, Governor Cooper had said that after looking if we get through all the phases, everything will kind of go back to normal, hopefully in mid-July. How would that?
I already know. I know what he's going.
How would that affect the start of football season and your ability as a coach to be able to get young men ready to go and play football for a 10-game season?
Tough. It's doable. It's doable, but my main concern is that we see this uptick of injuries because guys aren't truly in condition and in shape. This isn't, in no disrespect to any other sport, this isn't basketball, baseball, or anything like that. This is man-to-man gladiator contact. This is me and you coming out here banging around for 2 hours. You have to be in a certain physical level of conditioning and strength-wise to be able to do that. And so for me to be like, all right, man, you've been sitting down since March the 20th. Come on out here in 6 weeks. I'm gonna have you ready to go up here and bang heads against such and such and such and such. It's a stretch. It's doable, but we have to make sure that we take the safety of the kids and the safety of the game into account when we're starting to do this kind of stuff.
Right. I mean, you would think that maybe you could, if it was a thing of we already have the scheme down and we've already had the plays installed, and we could just focus on conditioning for 6 weeks. I know many coaches spend about 4 to 6 weeks in the summer just getting conditioning and strength up.
Yeah.
So you talk about 6 weeks and then we're playing a game.
Because now you got to do both. Because that great series you had last year, you saw how much of our summer workout day was strictly for strength and conditioning. We spent the last 30 or 45 minutes on the field working on a play or coverage, defense one day, offense one day. But every day we were doing the first 2 hours with strength and conditioning, working, running. And these were guys that were coming right off track, right off spring ball, still to get them into shape for the season. So I just don't know. I want us to have football. Lord knows I do. But I don't want us to rush in to just have a product on the field. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to mess around and, a kid has an injury that could have been prevented if we would have used a little bit more common sense and said, okay, maybe we push back and maybe we don't start until after Labor Day. Maybe the first game isn't until after Labor Day. Maybe we give you, July and all of August, and then after Labor Day, all right, let's go to work. And then you just play your schedule out from there. That's, missing 1 or 2 games, but making sure that the kids are ready and safe, to me, is way more important. Way more important.
Now, one of the things I think is really crazy is the NFL was looking at a chance of if pushbacks, they would just have no bye weeks, go 16 straight games, and then into the playoffs. I mean, how much do you think losing a bye week would affect, the high school game as well? We do so much like recuperating during a bye week. I mean, because it's smart. I say all the coaches I've ever worked with, they scale those practices back. You come in Monday and it's a workout day and it's a film day, watching the last film. Tuesday and Wednesday might be hard practices, and then Thursday you kind of helmets, shoulder pads, helmets. But you're giving, and the guys who are injured, who have had the nagging boo-boos, you say, hey, look, go see the trainer, go see Coach Biner, and let's put some ice on that knee. Let's put some whatever, and let's get your body back right. Let's put you in the ice bath. Let's get you on the stretch bands, and let's get you feeling back good again, especially for your guys like running backs, quarterbacks, guys that take more of a pounding than some of the others, some of your interior defensive and offensive linemen. Hey, guys, we're going to dial it back. We're not going to load up and hit. We're going to just make sure everything is – let's everybody get back healthy again. And it gives your coaches a chance to get healthy again, too. That grind that we're on sometimes, and most coaches, I'm tough. Hey, about week 7 or week 8, you're like, man, whoo, good gracious. I need a rain day, I needed to rain one day so we can have an inside practice. We can still do install, but you know what I'm saying? So, I think I couldn't imagine on the NFL. I could not imagine. You let them have a no bye week in the league. You might see me playing wide receiver for the Panthers by week 13. You're like, hey, Coach Wilson, you got the call up. I'll be right there, baby. Because I mean, that's a grind. It's a grind for them. It's so yeah. As long as they give me number 88, I'll be right there.
Back to your coaching. What was your first win as a head coach, as a head varsity coach like?
Eastern Wayne.
Well, what that whole game where it was just one defensive touchdown and that was it. But
that's exactly how he wanted it.
Hey.
That's a Jay Wilson special right there.
Win the game.
What was that feeling like?
I think there's still a video, and I'm pretty sure it's going to resurface when I get older or something like that with me almost breaking down into tears at the end of the game, and I'm like, geez, because I told myself, don't get emotional, don't cry, you, and then, so but it was great for a lot of reasons. My brothers were in town. My brother that lives in Jacksonville, Florida. My brother that lives in Clayton. It was the first game they had ever seen me head coach at, and just in the manner in which we won. Like you say, a defensive touchdown. You hold a shutout, or not a shutout, but you hold them. You know what I'm saying, to that kind of game, and you win it at the end with your defense on the field, making a final stop. Coming from the area, I've always known Eastern Wayne. Coach Olson and I, we've been battling for years. Back whenever I was coaching at Goldsboro, we battled for years. They have another coach, Coach John Trey. We used to work out together before all this stuff happened. So it was a cool moment. And then like I told the guys, I said I could win 5 more games, or I could win 500 more games, but you guys and this game and this night will always be like that first memory I'll always have of that being victorious, and I'll know all of your names, and that picture that we take together, that'd be like, man, I got my first win with those guys, with the Debos, the Perrys, the Lukes, the Taylors, and the Forbonis, and I'll know, you know what I mean? So it was electric. It was. People think I'm joking. I slept with that football that night, bro. I was right here with, the whole. So my wife, my wife, we went to IHOP with my brother after the game. I had the football in IHOP in my left hand. Pancakes like this, ball right here. Hey, what's up?
Ball security, you got 2 hands on it.
Right here, nose right there.
But
yeah,
go ahead.
I'm sure that was one of the first times you had the game ball since college, right? Or was it before that?
I've had one more. There she go, 8-6. 8-6.
8-6 in 2019, an 8-6 final score.
Hey, and that 6 came on some garbage. But we, what I'm saying.
And it's funny. We had Wesley Case on our show the other day, and he was the starting quarterback. Yeah, me and Wesley go way back. Wesley's actually my dude for real, like in real life, outside of all the sports. Because, I used to see him at the Y. You know what I'm saying? And so
the same way, right? Knows Wesley, how hard Wesley was in the Y. That boy lives in the Y.
In the Y. I'm talking about, I could go in and start working out. And my workouts back then were, 2 hours, and he's over here on this court. And by the time I walk in, he already sweat. He's already 2 games in. I would do the whole workout, come back in, go in there, look in. He still out there. And I'm like, who is this kid? And I remember because I was at Goldsboro, and Eastern Wayne came over, and so all you heard was the whispers. Hey man, it's West kid, man. He's nice, man. You better watch it. He's nice. And he got out there and he did his West, and just kind of started following. Great kid, great personality. He gonna talk to you. If you on the opposing team, he gonna talk to you. If you on his team, he gonna talk to you. So shout out to West. That's always been my dog for real.
Of course, Desmond too, because Desmond was on the other side. I believe he said Desmond was talking trash to you.
Always. See, when Desmond was a freshman my first year at Goldsboro, and so I coached him on JV, and then he when I left to come to Green Central, he wound up transferring to Eastern Wayne. I think that very next year. So, and then we go to church together. You know what I'm saying? So he was whispering at me a little bit at church, before the game. But then he messed around and broke his arm, and I was like, boy, I said, God must have been looking out for you, Sage out here. So you. But then Wesley comes in, he's the quarterback. So Desmond's chirping all game. If I was on the field, it'd be a whole lot different. If I was on the field, I was like, hey, well, you ain't on the field, so go, So that's it. So but yeah, it was good times, man. It was a good time. So yeah.
The one thing I love about you, Coach Jay, is that it seems like not just Green Central. It seems like like all the kids in the area like know Jay Wilson and it feels like a lot of kids in the area have a connection with you. Is that something you kind of see from opponents?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a fan of the game. Green Central, right? Green Central is number one. We're gonna try and win every game. I'm gonna try and if I can beat you by 50, so be it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, being a person that has played the game since I was 8 years old, and just played sports, period, I can respect other great athletes. If I look across that field and I'm looking at this film and I'm like, ooh, wait, that linebacker right there gonna be tough this week, or that running back, he might be an issue. I can respect you, and then we got on that field, and then you show me what you really do on the field, and it's not just film, it's really on the field. Okay, listen, young man, I make it a point to find those guys and shake their hand and say, hey, look, man, you on the other team, you wearing the other colors. I want to tell you did a great job tonight. You know what I'm saying? You lived up to the accolades. You lived up to the hype. Aiden Griffin had a kid, Jay Webb, same thing. And I'm like, hey, well, we were talking during the game. I was like, hey, just know we're not gonna try you. He's like, I know. I'm okay, long.
Oh man. Jay
don't get my respect anyway.
Oh,
but when you come out here and then you say, okay, here's everybody, and then here's me. Now I got, hey, good job, young man. Win or lose, good job, young man. So that's how I look at it.
We kind of lost a little bit on the film because it kind of cut off your camera for a second, but we do.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So, Coach, how was it different preparing for games as a head coach versus last year being a coordinator?
Well, because you have to now account for both sides. As a coordinator, I'm just worried about their offense. Literally, I'm just okay. Who's the main guy? Who's the top dude? What's the head of the snake that we got to cut off? Which guy we got to stop and make somebody else beat us? But now, as the head coach and also still D coordinator, I got to know everything. I got to do offense. I got to do defense. I got to do special teams. Not that I had to do it, but I had to know it. I just watched the film. I watched the whole film now. So that's probably the biggest is that I want to be able to go to Willis and say, hey, look, that left defensive end, he likes to bite down on this. I don't know if you saw it, but he likes to bite down on this. You can probably run this at him, and let him do his thing, but just be able to whisper that in his ear, stuff like that. So just as a head coach, everything at the end of the day, y'all not gonna interview Coach Willis at the end of the game if we lose. Y'all still gonna interview me.
Yeah.
So, I gotta be.
I'm not gonna lie. Your first game when I was at your first game as a head coach against South Central. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of scared to interview you. I'm not gonna lie because I know you are one of the more competitive coaches I know, and I know y'all really wanted that one.
Oh man, I want all of them, but
yeah, true.
But because of the way it was, and if was fifths, and all that kind of stuff. But man, like I just say, man, if we don't have that daggone break with the thunderstorm, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
We had momentum, and I felt like we know it's like you're a boxer and you're like, okay, I set him up. He done leaned his head in. Come on, and then we were here and it was like katoosh going inside for a little bit, and you're like, ah. And so, you just, hats off to South Central. They came back and they made adjustments and they won the ball game. Hats off to them. But you just kind of say it's always that, man, what if we don't have that lightning? What if we don't have to take the 45, 60 minutes in this gym that we don't know anything about, and we're just kind of sitting around like, oh, we're going to play, or we're going to go home, we're going to play, we're going to go home. And then, you got to go out there in 5 minutes, you got to warm back up, and then you got to go play. And so it's just one of those things, but, yeah.
But even then, Or sorry, Kyle, you can go.
I was about to ask you, so who were some of the toughest guys that you had to prepare for on the film before the game this year?
Well, the quarterback from Charles B. Aycock off the top, and I'm
Clay
just kind of
Matthews.
yeah, I'm just kind of going down the list of the games. The two defensive tackles for Eastern Wayne. I think one of them just signed maybe the Tennessee or so. I don't know. But
South
those
Carolina.
Nick Barrett just committed to South Carolina. Yes.
South Carolina. Yeah. I knew it was an SEC. It was him, and they had a linebacker behind him. But those two
I
interior
think
guys.
Javon Jackson. I think it was. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah.
And then Jay Webb from AG. He was a guy that you had to account for. And then I go with the big quarterback from North Lenore. Because North Lenore ran that tight shoe to shoe, foot to foot, and he was a physical quarterback.
You talking about Filippo?
There you go. There you go.
Filippo Swallow from North Lenore. Yeah, he had a great
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. And then, oh my goodness, there's a linebacker for West Craven, and I still think he's making tackles. I think if I walk outside on the field right now, he's probably still making tackles right now.
Yeah, I see him against Kinston. This man. I feel like he had like 1 million tackles
Everywhere.
He's a ball hawk. He was everywhere around. He had a tackle somewhere.
And then Kinston had a D tackle that was super tough. Interior guy, he was super tough. And then the guy who wound up playing quarterback against us in that game, he played.
Caleb Gooding?
Nah, he played basketball.
Will London.
Oh, you talking about?
Oh gosh, London. And he.
My bad.
Yeah, I knew about him coming in but he had been injured, I think, the year before. But he's just a playmaker. He's just one of them guys that he's gonna make plays. You know what I'm saying? No matter where you go, no matter what you do, if the ball gets to his hand, he's gonna make a play.
And if I remember correctly, I don't think Gieselman had put that Wildcat package type style thing in for him.
That's why I forgot Will played QB.
He was running up and down the field.
Sure didn't. And we would have him. And we would have him bottled up, and then next thing you know, he's up the sideline. And you're just like, but it's a Will London type play. You know what I mean? And I had a feeling that they may go to it. I was like, he's so dynamic as an athlete. So we worked on it a little bit that week, but we didn't have it on film. So when you're trying to show the guys here's what's going to happen, we don't have a Will London on the scout team to say, hey, here's what he's going to go do. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard. Washington's quarterback with that option.
Godley, yep. Antoine Godley's going on last week.
Yeah, with that option look that they run, he was super tough. And I'm just kind of talking from the defensive side of the ball. But I mean, those are the guys that like really like jump out, and you're like, woof. You can kind of list them as you go down. Like, okay, we got the game plan for this kid. We got the kid from Farmville. Now they didn't have a great season, but I think he was like number 6, kind of a shorter guy. Short. Woo, listen. And
he's a good hooper too.
Yeah, listen, and that shows you how good Farmville basketball team was, to bring that in. That he didn't really get that much burn this year because of their 3 guards, but he can really hoop.
Yeah, he started the year like a couple years back as a freshman. Yeah. He was started for them.
Yep. But what we did for that week, we used Jaden Tyson. Because Farmville didn't have a JV team, so we used Jaden Tyson, and Jaden Tyson was short for that week. And so wherever he lined up, he became the key. You know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, that short kid, he was super tough. He'll
be good for them next year too. So
yeah. So now, of course, when it comes to having those type of game changers, what does it do for you as a coach? I know you had AJ Dupree on your back end 2 years ago, and then you had him also on offense. What was it like having those type of guys that most of the time when they step on the field, they're normally the best player on the field?
It makes it a lot easier to coach. It does, and we can, we always have a saying in the coaching fraternity. You can have all great X's and O's, but it comes down to the Jimmys and the Joes. And if your Joe is better than their Jimmy, then let's go play ball. And if you got an AJ Dupree, if you have a Will London, if you have a Mike, if you have a Webb, if you have those kind of guys that can, AJ's senior year, we're supposed to lose to Charles B. Aycock. We're supposed to lose to Charles B. Aycock. We're down. AJ catches a pick on the 5-yard line, goes up and wheels back across the field, and 90 yards later, he's in the end zone, and that's the ball game. You know what I'm saying? So there are a lot of guys who could have made the interception. There are a lot of guys who could have returned it for a few yards. But when you become special when you can make the interception and now go to the house and give you plays and give you points that you didn't necessarily script out in the book. You know what I mean? So, that's the kind of play. You always love to have those kind of guys on your squad. You really do. You really do. So.
Now, of course, the guy who was kind of like that was Michael Johnson, man. Talk about how he kind of just popped out and bloomed so quickly.
Mike is a crazy athlete. I mean, he's a kid that can go up and dunk the ball 2 hands. He's going to run a 4.7. You know what I'm saying? And he just has a motor. And when those lights come on Friday night, he was going to get. And he had a mean streak. And so I used to, because I used to tell my son, Deuce, I say, look, see that's the difference. I said that's the difference between 2 sacks and 5 sacks is that mean streak. And so when you combine all those things together, he was able to really come out and perform well and have some really, really big ball games for us this year. So Mike was just long and lean and deceptively strong and deceptively big, and just go out there and make plays. So,
Michael, you have a question?
Yeah, my question was going to be kind of as it pertains to you being not just Coach Wilson, but basketball PA announcer Jay Wilson. How fun is that?
Listen, I do it for whoever. I love it. I sort of feel like Rakim, when he say you can move when you can move the crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Move the crowd, yes sir.
So you're at a game, and with the help of my DJ, who we feel off each other, and he knows when it's time to play this particular song or whatever. But when you can dictate like the energy in the building with your voice and with the mic, man, it's a powerful thing, man. I love it. I used to always kind of do it for fun, but here it's I like it. It's a fun thing to do, and it's just something I love. I really love it. So.
You guys go up and
how does that
right into it.
Both of y'all talking, huh?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, how did that come about? When was the first time that you started doing it?
I think it started with just announcing the lineups, just doing at guard, and so you put a little flavor on it. Shout out to The Last Dance. I grew up in that time period, so I'm kind of mimicking my man from the Chicago Bulls, and then so I like to say I'm a little bit Chicago Bull, and then I'm a little bit my man from And One, oh baby, so but it just started with that, and then I think one game early on that first year, just kind of left the mic on and was like, 2-point basket by such and such. And then you just kind of start doing it. And then the next team was like, hey, you better do our game like that. I was like, what? They're like, man, you announce their points. And so I was like, all right, cool. And then, you got to do our game like that. And then, it helped having a Majay. And and those guys, the tanks and those guys out there, and you boom and all, just all that kind of stuff, and then the fans kind of get into it, and then they kind of expect it, and you just kind of go from there. So it just ballooned up.
You gave Amaje one of the best ones, one of the best announcements ever. It was really truly a moment to hear Amaje died, announced. I remember his last game in the Ram Pen, and you did it, and it was just like the crowd just went absolutely nuts because I think everyone knew, okay, this is the last time we're going to get to see him here.
Yep. And so, and for me, it gives me a chance to show some of those guys a little bit of respect. Amaje, 1,500 points, blood, sweat, and tears for the program. So if I can say something in a 60-second span that lets him know the feelings that the crowd would want to tell him, then that's icing on the cake. So you just kind of enjoy that. You enjoy that part of it. And the guys love their nicknames and all that kind of stuff. So it's just something fun, something to have fun with.
All right. Then of course, getting into a little bit of basketball. Me and you got a chance to catch some good games at Goldsboro. What is it like, being able to, watch all the good basketball that happens throughout Eastern North Carolina?
It's fun. It's because my son plays, and so we get to go to AAU stuff, and it's track meet, just and I'm still old school basketball. I still like to see somebody kind of get out and play a little bit of defense sometimes. But we still play a little tough down here in ENC. It's still some body to body contact. It's still nah, man, you ain't gonna come to my house and just do all that. You know what I mean? And so I still love that aspect of it. I love to be able to go to Goldsboro and watch First Flight come to Goldsboro. And shout out to my man D Nice on going to ECU, man. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to you. Bullock got his signing. So, but just to be able to watch some of those games and have the freedom, we're not home tonight, so I'm gonna go see Kinston and Farmville, or we don't have a game tonight, I'm gonna see Goldsboro and Eastern Wayne, so that good stuff. I love to be able to sit and watch good basketball. So
right, because you was actually your senior year, you were the MVP of your basketball team for Coach David Cobb.
I was a walking double, man. You can put it in the book. I'm gonna give you 10 and 10 when we get off the bus. Now I don't know how it's gonna get here, but I'm gonna give you 10 and 10. Everything after that, that's gravy. Coach Cobb knew that. Man, Coach Cobb was one of my favorite coaches. He sort of showed me how you can be the disciplinarian, you can have the structure, you can have everything the way you want it, but at the end of the day, still be able to laugh with your kids, still be able to make jokes with your kids, you know what I'm saying? Still show them that you're a human being, but at the same time, you the end all, you the coach, but I'm still a human being, So, Coach always really kind of showed me that, he come and talk to you man to man, and then he could talk to you coach to player, and then he could just come and talk to you like, Jay, what are you doing? And it makes me laugh. So,
one of the things he said was the reason you told him, well, you were the best rebounder on his worst shooting team, and that's why you were able to get the MVP.
Hey, listen, it wasn't my fault that the boys didn't have great accuracy, but I did benefit from it. So I was most of my 10 were gonna come from and put it right back up. That's where my 10 was gonna come from. And so, but I think I wound up averaging, I don't know, maybe 12 or 13 that year. But I'm gonna give you double digit points. We had fun. So.
Who was the coach or person that inspired you to go into coaching?
Ross Renfro. He became my football coach my sophomore year. And like Coach taught me so many life lessons that were just I extended past football. You know what I mean? Like in the middle of games, we mess around and get down, or we're losing and we realize might not be a rainbow on the other end of this thing. Coach would, in the middle of a game, he could still pull you to him and, hey, Jason, because he never said Jay. Jason, listen, we're going to finish this thing out. I don't care what happens. I don't care what the scoreboard says. We're going to, and then he's holding me this close, and we're going to finish this thing out. And you're going to be a man. You're going to be a man about it. Yes, sir. And you go out and you finish it up, but Coach, he would just talk to you in a way, and he would have you feel like you could run through a brick wall, and you would for him. But and I was like, if I can have that kind of influence on another young man or a group of young men, then that's what I want to go do. So Coach really lit the fire of me wanting to be a head coach and a head football coach specifically. Well,
right now, of course, you've been coaching for 21 years now.
It's 20. Don't give me that one yet. It's 20.
So you've been coaching for 20 years now. If you could go back and tell your younger Jay something, what would your advice be to yourself?
Be patient, and learn. Like, never miss an opportunity to learn something. Sometimes you go to these clinics and you think it's one thing and it's not. So you're kind of zoning out. You're on your phone or whatever, or you're doodling or something like that. I would go back and tell my younger self, hey, pay attention to all sessions. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the guy is talking like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. It doesn't matter. Pay attention in every session. Go to every clinic. Don't miss an opportunity to get this information, because you never know when you're going to need it again. And then being patient, just being patient, and at every level, taking the opportunity to learn all you can from every level. I started with Pee Wee football. I'm talking about, in Greensboro, coaching with the little rec leagues, going to, coaching the fifth quarter of the middle school team, going to, calling plays for the middle school team, to middle school head coach, to ninth grade position coach, to, and just being patient and paying your dues, and the time will come, and not getting frustrated along the way because you got to know, or somebody said, nah, not right now, or we don't think you're ready. Not letting that frustrate you, letting it motivate you. Because there were a couple times I got those things and I got frustrated. And I was like, man, it's whatever. I'm done. And then I lost some time. I never stopped coaching, but mentally I lost those mental reps because I had checked out. But just be patient and take everything as it comes.
In terms of your class of 2020, how great is it to see some of your kids get to sign and play college football?
Love it, man. You get those texts. I remember PT Perry. He texted and was like, Coach, I think Guilford's gonna, they're gonna put an offer on the table. And I said, is that what you want to do? Because Perry's a good baseball player too. So I was just like, I said, is this what you want to do? He's like, Coach, I want to play football. I said, well, if you get the opportunity to go play football, go play football. And then, of course, he sends it back later on, and he's like, they put one on the table. I said, man, I'll be right there. Same thing with Debo. Same thing with Mike. Just having them come back to you, and even Zachville. Zachville has got some late interest from St. Aug. It's nothing official yet, but with some of the new stipulations that are being lifted and coming down, it's opened up a couple of opportunities for him. And just his excitement. Hey, Coach, man, I need to get my transcript, and I need to get my, and you're like, yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it. But just seeing those guys be able to take that journey that I once took, that guys, and just knowing how it can change your life, I'm not saying any guys are going to the NFL or anything like that. I'm just saying that they have an opportunity now to go get a college degree. And now, if they come back to Snow, if they come back to Greene County, they're going to come back as a college grad, and they're going to be the kind of person who's going to reach back and tell a ninth grader, hey, dog, you saw me do it, you can do it. That kind of thing. And just start that cycle of giving back, and showing guys, hey, you can make it out of Snow Hill. You can make it out of Greene County. You can go and get your degree and get a master's and make $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year and da 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 da. You can do it. It doesn't matter where you come from. It matter where it's all about where you're going. So that's the big part of it for me.
All right. One of the things I think would be interesting is I'd like to see a Greene Central versus Goldsboro game at some point in the future with you against your frat brother Tim Ray.
No, Tim is not my frat brother. Tim is in another fraternity. Now, Mr. Coach Nelson, I ain't gonna say which fraternity, but Mr. Nelson, the principal, is my frat brother, and there's several men on staff who are my frat brothers and who made the right decision. You know what I'm saying? But
there it is. I knew it was coming.
Excuse me. But no. Coach Ray is my dog, man. He's a great guy. He's gonna do great things at Goldsboro, but he did go a different path than I did in regards to that. But we were kind of chopping it up before all this stuff happened, and we're talking about realignments and who can go where and what schools can go where. And if Eastern Wayne pops down to a 2A school, how great would it be for your viewing area? I think North Johnson would probably wind up going the other way. I don't think it will come down this way. But to have a Goldsboro or Wayne County, Greene County, maybe North Lenore type deal where we're all in the same conference. You know what I mean?
Speaking of realignment, the NCHSA has been holding meetings today, of course.
Yeah.
And I found Nick Stevens from High School at Sea reported that 68% of the people voted yes to realignment, but that's not enough to actually start discussions on it, if I'm correct. I think you have to have 75% or something, but
I think 3/4 or something like that.
Yeah, but realignment would be really cool, just to see where people would go in terms of proximity. So it's kind of a fun conversation to have.
Yeah.
Kai and I talked about this with J. Mike Blake earlier this year, or not this year, but earlier when we first were starting this podcast. So yeah. So it's a really interesting discussion right now.
Yeah, I think it would be great if of course for me it would work out great if it was Greene Central, Goldsboro, Spring Creek, North Johnston. They throw in North Lenore and South Lenore since Kenton probably gonna go down to 1A.
Yeah, I think Eastern Wayne is gonna go 2A. I think.
Eastern Wayne as well.
Yeah, so if you pull out, because I think Southern Wayne's gonna stay 3A, but if you pull out, and Charles Aycock will probably stay 3A, I'm sure they will. But if you had those three Wayne County schools, Greene County, North Lenore, South Lenore may wind up going towards that Richlands, area, since they're on that kind of backside
East
of North County. Yeah, East Duplin, Richlands,
Spring Creek,
probably Swansboro,
okay.
But that way, because that's where they used to be at,
a
little bit before. So I can see them maybe possibly going that way, and then maybe doing something with the West Cravens and the Washingtons up that way. You just never know. Maybe taking. I think AG is a wild card. I don't know if AG is going to stay 2A, or are they going to pop back and go 1A? Because they used to be 1A before. So it's a lot. It's a lot of variables, a lot of ifs.
Right, but of course, I can imagine how crazy a football conference would be with Northeastern, Washington, Tarboro, and who else is up towards that way that you said? West Craven. If you put all of them in one football conference.
Yeah. Hey, and they can have it, and we'll.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that would be really cool. Just when you look at it, I mean, heck, that would be three black head coaches right there on that line, and that's something that's very rare, in this day and age.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at it, it's and it's not something I really harp on a whole lot,
Right.
but it's 2019, and I was the first African American head football coach in Green Central. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things you don't press on it, harp on it, but it is a fact, and so you just but I enjoy the opportunity that I have, and I'm planning to make the most of it.
All right. So yeah, that's about it. Like, you got anything else you want to add in?
Nah, man. I think I've gotten all my questions in. I mean, you guys kind of took care of it, so I mean, I just sat and listened. I'm getting an education right now. So I'm just like, I'm here.
Right.
But Jay, thank you so much for joining us. You're our guy. We're rooting for you to continue to have success at Green Central, and we'll definitely see you soon, and hopefully we get out and Building Block Season 2 probably gonna start at Green Central, I would say.
Hey,
come on, start at Green Central.
The door is wide open. Hopefully you guys will be able to first, break our, with the coach's office renovations. We're trying to do some different things out there. A little bit better interview area out there for next year, for the future.
Let's see.
Did we lose him again? Oh, there we got Jay back.
Yeah, we lost you real quick.
Oh, well, I was saying, I want to say thank you for everything that you guys do for the three different areas. And when you guys blow up and become like huge and famous, never forget where it all started from. Okay, I don't, you ain't got to give me no money, but I should get all the WJG gear for free that I need. You know what I mean? That's because you started,
Nah, dude, you don't gotta say a word, man. Don't just say the word. We're not famous just yet, though.
And all the future WJG sports events, we gotta have Jay Wilson for every basketball and football event.
He was gonna do this one.
I was saying
he was going to do this one.
We were Deuce, myself, Willis. We were so hyped about that event. Like Deuce was gonna miss his basketball practice. He was like, "Dad, I gotta go see all the top players, and I gotta be there. I gotta be there." And I was like, "Okay, man, you got it, man."
Oh yeah. By the way, I don't know if his birthday happened yet, but tell Deuce we said happy birthday from the WJG Sports Gang.
Man, I'll make sure. It was last Saturday. But I make sure I pass along that information, man. He loves you guys, and he'll watch the show and different things like that. And he'll be like, he calls y'all the twins.
I mean, at this point, it's called the Just Like Brothers podcast.
He was like, where the twins, the brothers? Yeah, because like when we have games and y'all are not doing our game, he's like, man, the brothers aren't here, man. Where
Hey, but tell Deuce, man, he better get ready, man, because next fall I'm coming to some middle school football games. So he
plays at No Wayne. He'll be playing at No Wayne. So
okay.
Oh yeah, so you better tell him to ice up and make sure he got his head on the swivel. We don't want to see him getting a broken tackle on YouTube.
Jay, where can they find you on social media, man?
Instagram, countryboy88. Also the Green Central football page. Twitter is Kal07Q. That's how much to my line name. Also the Ram football page, with Twitter page. I mean, that's where I'm usually at. I'm usually in one of those two spots, having fun, laughing with you guys, looking to see what y'all posting. So yeah, I'm always out there. So
Yes, sir. Also, you gotta make sure to tell all the Greene County people to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We gotta get some subs up, man.
listen, as soon as this hit the wave, I'm gonna go ahead and start shooting them out about once an hour. I'm gonna hey, make sure you can check me out. Let me know how I did.
Yes, sir. But yep, just like Bruddas Podcast, episode 46. You know where to find Kai and myself on social media and all of WJG Sports on all social media platforms. So we appreciate all of you guys for joining us. And Jay, once again, thank you so much.
All right, man. Hey, man. Thank you guys, man. Thank you for what you do.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.